The feet of iron and clay. Oh my goodness. Where are you in the 1,000 year reign of Christ? I'm talking about our series, of course. We just posted number 19. Where are you in your process? I just spoke with Judy Tanini, and she's only on number 3, but she keeps listening to the same one over and over again, and called me just in tears, as many people have, in the understanding of this incredible insight that we have been given the privilege to see into. The feet of iron and clay have never been defined like this. If you're only on number 1 or 2 or 3, I'm sorry, spoiler alert, I'm going to make reference to the last 2 that we have done. And it's just confirming the information. Number 1, we had a real uptick in our views on the 1,000-year reign, the exact beginning and the exact end. We had an uptick in that after we came out with the last 2, and especially the last one, where we defined clearly what the feet of clay and iron and what the stone, the rock that was hewn out of Mount Zion and comes and strikes the feet of this entire image that was Daniel was interpreting the dream of Nebuchadnezzar. All of these kingdoms, we've taken you right down through history. This is a historical thing. The striking of the feet is not a futuristic thing. It is historical. In fact, it's so historical, it's historical. The verses in the book of Daniel take us to Daniel chapter 2 and verse 43. This expands on this a bit in ways that we had not seen as of the last Powercast. If you've not seen the last one, you're going to have your mind completely blown on this. The feet of iron and the feet of clay. Why it hasn't been known, I don't know. But we've done search after search, and there is nobody who's ever taught on this, ever, in the last 2,024 years. No one has ever taught that the feet of iron and clay was the Roman Empire and the Jewish people. And yet all the way through the scriptures, you are the potter, we are the clay. And even when it says that the image's feet that were a mingling of iron and clay, which iron and clay don't mix. They don't stick together. So as we saw that, and here Herod is ruling over Jerusalem as king. If you can't see the mixture of the iron and the clay there, everybody knows that the iron is the Roman Empire, but this clay, what's happening in the future, that iron and clay. There's no future to this, folks. This is Jesus Christ having fulfilled all prophecy. And the stone that came and smashed the entire image, and then that rock grew into a mountain that becomes the eternal kingdom of God that encompasses the whole earth. And the kingdoms of this world have become the kingdom of our God. It's simple. So to make it even more simple for you, I'm going to go into just a little deeper dive on this in Daniel's interpretation. As he was talking about this feat of iron mixed with clay, in the King James Version, it says, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not with clay. I looked at this, they shall mingle themselves. I happened to click on to another version. And another version says that they'll get married, the two will get married, but they will not stick. They don't ever mesh together. And I thought, my goodness, that sounds very specific, that there not was just this kingdom of Israel and the kingdom of Rome, which is plenty enough to have the iron and the clay mixed together, but this is mentioning a specific marriage. Well, you know me. we got to ask one more question and read one more line. So obviously, this also said the seed. So this marriage produced a seed. So I thought, well, we've gone through this, and we know that Herod the Great was the great horn, and then his three sons were the little horns. And actually, I think it's his grandson that is the last little horn. And in this vision about this part of the vision that Daniel is interpreting. But he says the way that this clay and iron mixed together is through a marriage first. So guess what I did? I started to find out who King Herod was married to. Well, would you like to know? King Herod, just one moment, let me get my own here. King Herod's second wife was Mariamne, the first. From the Hasmonean, she was a Hasmonean princess. What is a Hasmonean? The Hasmonean Empire was a lineage of high priest, not just priest, but a lineage of high priest. She was a descendant of this high priesthood. And Herod marries the clay and happens to be direct lineage of the high priesthood. The Hasmonean lineage was the ones who were supposed to be on the throne instead of Herod. The natural lineage was supposed to have followed the Hasmonean line, and so for King Herod to secure his control over the Jewish people, he married the princess of the Hasmonean priesthood dynasty. Now, Ethan and I just watched a show that is about this period of time, and you can watch it on Netflix. I wish I could tell you which one it was, but it has her in it. And so here is the issue about Mariam. It's Mariam, Miriam N-E, the first. Mariamne, the first. Mariamne the first, Herod the Great's second wife, was one of the most significant figures in his life and reign. Her marriage to Herod was politically motivated, but deeply impactful, both personally and historically. Her lineage was the Hasmonean princess, the granddaughter of John Hyrcanus II, a former high priest, the leader of the Hasmonean dynasty. This lineage made her highly respected among the Jewish people, as the Hasmoneans were seen as the rightful rulers of Judea before the rise of Herod. Her Hasmonean heritage gave Herod a critical connection to the Jewish population, whose loyalty he sought by marrying Mariamne. Herod aimed to legitimize his rule over Judea, which was heavily influenced by Rome. So this marriage took place in 37 BCE. Now, they had 3 children. Those 3 children are listed as the 3 little horns. Her grandson was the Herod that was on the throne during Christ's crucifixion. he was her grandson. So the grandmother of the man who sent Jesus to his death was a descendant of the high priesthood lineage by his grandmother. I didn't learn all this about the DNA and ancestry for nothing. It's coming in handy, I'm telling you, because my brain is now designed to see this stuff, and it's just really quite impactful. So, here's where I challenge you to go and look up your own interest and do research on Mary Amne the First. Let me spell it for you again: Mariamne the First, Hasmonean princess, Hasmonean princess. She is the granddaughter of the high priest, one of the last high priests before Herod came in, and she is also the grandmother of the last little horn of the prophecy in in Nebuchadnezzar's vision, where the little horns, the great horn and the three that were plucked up, and the last one that was there. What can we say? I don't know if you're as thrilled by this. Daniel and I and Ethan, we are all very much caught up in this. This is just something that I wanted to follow up with. I know I haven't spoken with you guys for a while. And I'll take a line from a movie that may be known by some of you. Is that I did not write because I had nothing to say. It's because I had too much to say. So with that in mind, I'm way under 15 minutes, and I just hit you with the biggest piece of news you have ever had about the fulfillment of the scriptures and the feet of iron and clay and the marriage. We identified the marriage that produced the seed that was the end of this entire image and this dynasty and the melding together of this marriage, because Daniel's prophecy said the iron and the clay would be married, but they'd never stick together. And when you go through the history of this, you'll see there was never any trust. She despised Herod. In fact, Herod had her killed because he suspected her of high treason. He had her killed. And this was, I think, before the birth of Christ even. Anyway, we just want you to see that all scriptures are fulfilled. And they're fulfilled in such a dynamic way. You say, why didn't we ever see this before? And I'm telling you, no one has ever taught you or anyone else on this earth has been taught, nor have they taught, that the feet of iron and clay were Israel and the Roman Empire. And now we've identified for you the very marriage which Daniel speaks of. And it's from the lineage of the high priesthood married to Herod. And it never stuck. They were married. They produced children. They produced the rest of this lineage. However, it is exactly, watch it on TV for yourself. It's there. Listen, guys, this is coming to you from the room of rooms. And boy, are we enjoying ourselves. Hope you enjoy this. I'm going to sign off here before the 15 mark hits. You guys, thank you so much for all your support. We love you. Stay in contact with us. Let us know what's happening in your life as you listen to the 1,000-year reign of Christ.